number 5, Jeremy Maclin. I know this one all too well. He was never on the same page with Joe Flacco, Harris, and perhaps because Flacco missed much of the preseason, or in fact all of the preseason. Maclin's not a number 1 wide receiver. He's just not.
That contract that they gave him was really, really strange to me because, look, he's a decent wide receiver, but he's just not the same player.
He's not a game breaker
anymore. No, not at all. And they're paying him a little bit too much money. They need, goodness, do they need to be able to get some wide receivers on that side of the ball. He's owned a pretty big roster bonus of $1 million going into 2018. His total cap number right now is $7.5 million. So if they want to get that off the books, recoup $5 million of that, I think it's time to go.
And the Ravens are in a tough position right now in terms of cap space.
Yeah, they
so
are.
Maclin could be gone from Baltimore. How about number 4, Joe Haden, corner for the Steelers. Had a great year, Harris, but he's going to be expensive.
Yeah, he did have a great season, but he's also owed $9 million next season, which is crazy because he also has $1 million roster bonus. This is one of the weirdest contracts that we've seen given out in a long time. He was not good with the Browns for a couple of years there. He was just straight up bad. And now all of a sudden the Steelers came out, gave him a 3-year, $27 million deal right before the start of the season. Very strange. Good to see that he actually got into the playoffs this year, but I did not know why they gave him that big of a contract. He is not that kind of corner anymore.
Joe Haden checking in at number 4 out of the AFC North as a possible cap cut. Number 3, Dre Kirkpatrick out of Cincinnati, getting older, did not have a great season, hasn't lived up to his contract, and he's kind of been overshadowed by William Jackson and Darqueze Dennard at the slot corner. Those two had great years.
Yeah, it's really difficult because they have a lot of money locked up in him, and they just gave him a new deal. But I think that they might move on to him and just try to swallow the money and try to give it out. They might wait until next season.
Yeah.
So this season coming up, they can save about $4 million, and they'll have about $5.6 million dead money. If you look at next season they'll save $7 million and only have to eat $4 million of it. I think they might give up on him now, though, just because he's just not the corner that they thought when they drafted him in the first round. The Bengals, it seems like every single year they draft corners in the first round.
Dre Kirkpatrick, corner for the Bengals, a possible cut this season or more likely maybe next season. All right, how about number 2, Danny Woodhead, running back for the Baltimore Ravens. Look, the Ravens barely saw Woodhead on the field this year, and the Ravens have a lot of depth at running back. I think they have their guy in Alex Collins, and Kenneth Dixon will come back, and Buck Gallen too.
Yeah, and at this point, with Danny Woodhead, he's 32 years old. I thought he was going to be the perfect Joe Flacco quarterback because we know how much Joe Flacco loves to dump the ball to his running backs.
Of course, Ray Rice of old.
And throw the ball down the field. But I think Danny Woodhead is still a really good player in the NFL. I think he'll find a landing spot. I'd love to see him on a team that needs to throw the ball to running backs more. He's not going to go back to the Patriots. That's not going to happen. They have too many of those guys. But I think you could see him on a team. I think maybe even a team like the New York Jets, him going back there would actually be a decent fit. They need to get receiving backs, and Danny Woodhead's time with Baltimore is probably coming to an end.
All right, so there is Woodhead finally at number 1. Brandon LaFell. Can we stop trying to make LaFell happen? It can't happen. Look, Tyler Boyd had a better year than LaFell.
He did, and I think what it comes down to is that he's owed a $1.25 million roster bonus once June 1st comes around. I don't think they're going to want to pay him that. He's not the good wide receiver. I think he's going to end up being kind of an NFL mercenary. He's going to pay him, they're going to end up with about what are you going to call him? Maybe like just a small contract as number 3 wide receiver on maybe a low-end playoff team. We'll see. He was great with the Patriots a couple years ago against Seattle. Since then, hasn't really done much.
All right, so those are the possible cap cuts coming out of the AFC North. Maclin, Haden, Kirkpatrick, Woodhead, and LaFell.